What's going on, everyone? So it's that time of year. It's Sandbox Draft season, so it's basically the Little Cup League is back, and I am one of the coaches. We are the coach of the Great Neubat Brewing Co. So we're going to be in it. We just completed the drafting phase, and we'll have videos of that uploaded in the coming weeks. But we're going to do a quick draft recap here. So there's 10 coaches, and we would pick 8 out of the 10. So basically, we get the 8th pick overall. So we did have some draft plans. Some stuff, obviously, with some plans that get taken early, as they do. So we kind of just had to take a step back, and we got this pick 1. So we'll go through pick by pick, and then we'll do a recap of everything with the thematic nicknames for the season. So first pick we got pick 8. We got Ellie Kid. Okay, so Ellie Kid, it was our tier 1. I think everyone picked a tier 1 just like right out the gate, because tier 1s are going to be something that you probably bring to most of your games each week. So happy to bring something like Ellie Kid to like every game. Big things that Ellie Kid has over like a lot of other Pokemon within the tier list. 95 speed, so outside of the Voltorb line, I think it's tied fastest with stuff like Yanma, which was picked from another coach, and Wiglet, which is at tier 4, not so amazing. So we got good speed there with good speed control well, because it's got Electro Web. Electro Web's nice bit of speed control there. Does get access to the ever-prevalent Follow Me, very crucial move to have. When doing these drafts, I love to have a form of redirection, so last time we had Togepi when we did the Sword and Shield one, and that thing, even though most of the time it was just clicking Follow Me, I was just happy with it doing that to allow the rest of the team to get set up and be the stars of the show, so to speak. So we had a lot of good tier 2, tier 3 offense in that one. So this one's sort of the same, but unlike Togepi, this one has some great offensive stats. 65 special attack and 63 attack. Allows it to go on the offense if necessary as well, if the matchup looks good for it to do so. So that's the Ellie Kid there. That's the tier 1 pick. We're pretty happy with that. And then we're going to pick, so we had 9 and 10, and it's in snake formation, so then it goes 10, 9, and 8. So we're going to pick shortly after that, and we picked something from tier 2. Something we do value, obviously, in doubles is the move Fake Out. Fake Out is always just a great move to have, and I'm a big fan of like a bulky water, and something with a lot of diversity as well, similar to what Ellie Kid provided. So our next pick, we ended up picking Squirtle. Squirtle, good little water type, nice bit of bulk there for the baby's metagame. The 44 HP, 65, 64 on the bulk, definitely not bad. It does have options to go on the offensive as well with the prevalent move Shell Smash right there, allowing it to go on the offensive if necessary with a bunch of its nice coverage moves. The support options there, you've got your Fake Out, you've got your Flip Turn, you've got your Haze, Ice Spinner, mainly against Grookey, because Grookey is legal and was drafted. Ice Spinner sort of gets rid of that terrain effect as well, to not have any glides and stuff coming out. Got other handy moves as well. It's got your Life Dew, your Icy Wind for your speed control, a helping hand for a bit of extra damage output as well, with some good offensive moves to use as well. Even gets Yawn as well for a bit of disruption. So yeah, pretty happy with Squirtle for the tier 2. Definitely wanted a water type. There are a few cores that we did want. Fire Water Grass was definitely something we were going to have a look at, and very happy with the Squirtle pick. So moving on to our third pick, something that I decided to do this season that I don't think too many other managers did until really late. I had a look at tier 4. Tier 4 is the weakest tier of the lot, and with tier 4 there were some absolute home run hitters in there that were some sleepers. I picked up a few of them because I picked a lot of my tier 4s quite early, and I picked a tier 4 in round 3. Now that may sound a bit whack, but I saw a lot of the things that this tier 4 had going for it, and I thought it was better than some of the tier 3s. So we picked it up, and that is Ching Ling. Now at face value, Ching Ling just seems just pretty average Pokemon, but 50, 50, 45 bulk, back potentially with an easier light for tier 4 is quite great. The ability levitate also quite great as well, giving you that ground immunity, which can be very handy into a bunch of the good ground type attackers. Mudbray, you know, Horse in the Room being one of them. And other stuff as well, just in even stuff like trapping as well, because Diglett was legal, Trapinch was legal. They're both big ground type attackers. Chingling can, you know, ignore that sort of stuff and isn't trapped by them either. Quite nice. 65 special attack, definitely not a bad shell. So it can go on the offense if necessary as well. And this thing is a Trick Room setup. So getting Trick Room there, Trick Room reversing speed order, pretty nice option to have in double battles for like your VGC style double battle. So we've got that on there, and we've got the rest of the team that can sort of round out to abuse it. We'll go over like a lot of the things that we sort of have after we speak about all the Pokemon that we've got. But it's got the setup option in Calm Mind. It's got great special coverage like your Dazzling Gleam, your Grass coverage, your Psychic coverage of course, and Shadow Ball as well. Alongside like supportive moves, like it gets Icy Wind, it gets your Knock Off, it gets Yawn, it gets Recover, it gets Thunder Wave. Yeah, there's the Icy Wind there. It gets Helping Hand as well. Yawn. And I guess if necessary, Skill Swap as well. Being able to give something else Levitate could always come in handy. Or even just taking an ability off something else to give to Chingling. Not a bad shout as well. So, yeah, definitely handy little Pokemon to have. So, definitely happy to have it for one of our mandatory tier 4s we have. Then on the way back, because we were shortly picked after that, we decided to pick a ground type. I wanted something cheap for the ground types because we had greater plans to go. So for that one, we picked tier 3 and we picked Golett. Good little ground type, like 59, 50, 50 for your bulk. 74 attack, definitely nothing to scoff at either. On the slower end, but we do have that Trick Room there available for that to work with the Golett, and it's an Earthquaker, and that pairs very nicely with the levitating Trick Room setter in Chingling. Does have no guard, so we can throw out some dynamic punches, you know, roll the die for feeling a bit spicy. We've got Klutz as well. I don't think this thing gets like a trick or a switch or anything of the sort, but you know, Klutz exists. And we got Iron Fist as well. So Iron Fist is good for those punching moves, like your Shadow Punch, your Drain Punch, your Thunder Punch, etc., etc. Your punching moves, a little bit of a boost there for free. So pretty happy with that one. Electric immunity, fighting immunity, fake out immunity. Pretty happy with all three of those. So we're pretty happy with Golett for tier 3. I think it's going to provide a lot of great value going forward for us this season. Then we sort of hit a little snag in things, because after Golett we were going to look at a tier 3 fire type, and there were two that I had in mind, and they got picked back to back. It was Fuecoco and Fennekin. So not happy about that. I was scuffing it like I'm not sure what to do, and yeah, I was just in a bit of disarray, thinking I don't know if I've done things in the right order, but I think the stuff that I've picked is fine. I'm pretty happy with the stuff that I have, and we did end up settling on a tier 3 fire type. We can use it in our own unique sort of a way when matches come to it. And that we got, to pair with Squirtle, we got Charmander. So, the choice was between Charmander and Cyndaquil. Charmander tier 3, Cyndaquil tier 2. Cyndaquil's basically an eruption machine. Charmander, they're based at identical. We do have solar power, so if we do have some fast sun, we can opt to do that if necessary. But this thing gets Dragon Dance, so it can run some stuff on the physical side, because it's physical attack 52. Not terrible by any stretch. Good speed in 65, very abusable with the +1 boost. And having like Blaze boosted stuff like Flare Blitz, you know, that's strong. Like, Blaze boosted moves are like quite strong. Same for like Torrent and Overgrowth and like Swarm and stuff. Like the 1.5 times boosted gun moves can get quite nasty. So yeah, pretty happy. it's probably the least happiest I was with the pick, but it's better it'd be Charmander than like anything else that was there. I think Charmander still offers a decent enough bit of versatility, and it provides us with that fire type. If there's a better pickup midway through the season, it might be something that we may look to trade off. Or maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Charmander just pops off and, you know, I'm just wrong. That happens sometimes. So we'll be happy to admit it there. And then with the pick going back around, we wanted to finish off that Firewall Grass Core. I picked up something else from Tier 3, keeping the mandatory Tier 2 option and our Tier 1 elective option open. So, because you run through, so we had mandatory slots to fill and then some free points for the rest of our draft. 2 of them were mandatory Tier 2s. We've only got 1 at the moment. We pick up the other one later in the draft. And we have picked our mandatory Tier 3s, but there was another Tier 3 grass type that I did want. I think what it offers is still quite good. Despite the reputation its fully evolved version gets. And that is Chikorita, little Chikorita. So, Chikorita, offensively, it's still not the worst. Like, it's kind of on par with Squirtle in the offenses. Got great bulk. This thing has a phenomenal support move pool. Like, it's actually quite insane. Like, it gets both your screens, it gets your heal pulse, it gets your helping hand, it gets Encore. I didn't even know it got Encore. Until, like, having a look at it. It gets self-recovery and synthesis as well. It gets up stuff like Charm, like the Elite Seed. Growl for some spread attack drops. It might be alright. It gets your Poison Powder. I don't think it gets Sleep Powder. But that's honestly fine. Not the end of the world. Gets Safeguard as well. Maybe for some status prevention on our end. Get some decent setup options as well. You get your Trailblaze, get your Swords Dance. Those aren't too bad options to set up. Got the option for Curse as well. If we're running Trick Room and we need a bit of cheeky setup with Chikorita, we've got that Curse option there as well to run through with your Seed Bomb in like your Facade, or like your Double Edge or something, or even Body Slam. Like just your big, just those moves that'll hit hard enough. So. Yeah, for Tier 3, and rounding out the grass type, pretty happy with it, can't complain. So, the next 2 picks that we have, because we'll be going through, we'll be back on the 2 picks where they're close to each other, decided to polish off the Tier 4. Mostly because I'm having a look at how everyone else was drafting. A lot of them had Tier 4s open that they were required to pick, and for their free picks, most of them could only really afford a bunch of Tier 4s, unless if they wanted to sacrifice having a second Tier 1 and picking up 3s and 2s. So I decided with our game plan we were going to pick the last 2 Tier 4s, and then we've got a free Tier 3 and a free Tier 1 to pick with a mandatory Tier 2 after that, which is what we ended up doing. So the first one we grabbed, this is a run, this one we had in the Sword and Shield. Azurill is back. So Azurill is basically only going to be clicking one move, but the move it clicked is great. That is just huge power Belly Drum, and a huge power Body Slam, but it does get Belly Drum as an option as well, if we do find that coming in necessary. Because despite the fact that it's only got 20 attack, huge power really does make that go such a long way. Alongside like 50, 40, 40 bulk, not the worst. Its fairy typing defensively is nice, having the dragon immunity. Never really too bad about that. Making fighting neutral as well. Only really being weak to your steals and your poisons. Which not everyone has great access to, but some teams definitely do. So it should be able to take like a bunch of decent hits neutrally. Because it kind of has the bulk that it might be able to do one if invested correctly. So, something that we will need to keep an eye out on. But yeah, I am a big fan of Azurill, and I'm very happy it was still free at Tier 4. And the other one that we're going to get into right away, so that one is Rockruff. Now, this one I also drafted last time as well. And every time I'm just like, oh, Rockruff always looks promising. And then I always, like, end up regretting it. But this time, every time I say it might be different. This time might be different. It's got the own tempo, like immunity to intimidate. It's always nice to have on like your physical attacker. Vital Spirit as well. I don't think anyone drafted Fungus, but anti-sleep into something if Fungus gets picked up, or sleep powder mons like, you know, your Bulbasaurs, your Bellsprouts and stuff like that. Always handy to have, even like your singers and whatnot. So still pretty handy to have. A good little physical move pool as well, to back at 65 attack and 60 speed, which is very workable with a bunch of with some of the options that we're going to have, and we will be picking up a Tailwind option at the end as well. So we will have the option for, we've got a bunch of Icy Wind, Electro Web stuff. We've got Trick Room, and we will be picking up Tailwind as well. We'll run over that. But yeah, that to polish off Tier 4 was good enough for now. A lot of Tier 4 was filled with some pretty average stuff, or some stuff that I was going to look to double into. There was one option that I did see there. I ended up not picking it because I wanted to pick our mascot, so our pick after that was Noibat. Otherwise, Rockruff would probably end up being something like Ducklet, which Ducklet did end up being taken, because Ducklet stuff's kind of actually insane. So we'll see how that coach uses Ducklet. But yeah, we got Noibat, so we got the sponsor. We love that. We get the little mascot. Decent little dragon type attacker. That's our Tailwind option. 55 speed, not the best, but we can make it work in terms of getting Tailwind up at least once. With some very average stats to back it, unfortunately. Its base stat total is, yeah, like 245, so not amazing. But it gets powerful moves to run with it as well. So you got like your Draco Meteor and your Hurricane. Those are two big power moves that'll come at the cost of probably missing them constantly, but that's kind of the game we play. This thing's move pool is actually quite insane. I was having a look at it. I didn't know this thing got Solar Beam. I didn't know this thing got Wild Charge. Like, I didn't know this thing got like a bunch of these moves that it has access to. So yeah, not going to complain about Noibat. Frisk is also a nice ability to have if you're not expecting to face like screens and stuff like that. Frisk being able to reveal held items because we're playing in no terrestrialization, and it's also going to be no team sheet, so we don't see what our opponent brings. So having Frisk to reveal information on leads is, can't complain about that. It's free information for using it. So yeah, so pretty happy with that. But that wasn't even the thing that we picked right away, but neither Noibat or the next pit we got would have been sniped. So when looking at this, I didn't think we were also going to get Noibat because I wanted a poison type, but I also wanted a dark type. And I was stressing out because I didn't think I was going to get one. But there was a little sleeper in Tier 2 that fit both of those, and actually fits the bill for our team quite well, in the form of Stunky. So I'll move that into its correct spot there, because Stunky was technically drafted before Noibat. But, yeah, just a series of force just led into Noibat next. But neither of these could be sniped from me, because the last two on that wheel, they only had Tier 4s to pick, and we picked the Tier 2, Tier 3, then we finished off the draft with our Tier 1. So we're going to talk about Stunky now. So Stunky's got very surprisingly decent stats. 74 speed is quite quick. I think it's the second fastest one that we have on the draft, that we ended up drafting. So pretty solid there. Very usable attack stat in that 63. And pretty decent bolt. Very good defensive typing. Being able to suck up any potential toxic spikes. Not so common in doubles, and I don't think Limit was picked either for any toxic debris stuff. But we just have a dark type as well, and they've given us that psychic immunity, so they can't just be one, like, Titan psychic type that just sets up and just clicks the store power button to just run through the team, because we do have the immunity there for that. Stench, always a great ability. If you don't have a chance to flinch on your moves, you have a 10% chance of flinching. Free flinch chance, no reason not to go for it 2 times. Keen Eye could be nice, I'm not sure because it's played under VGC rules, I think evasiveness nonsense might be legal, so it could be something to keep an eye on. And in terms of moves, get some pretty solid moves on the physical end. Like, we've got booming if necessary. We can boom beside the telepathy Noibat. You know, there you go. Ideas on the fly. Gets Flamethrower, Fire Blast, same as Skunk Tank. You get your Gunk Shot, gets your Knockoff as well, a bit further down here. Yeah, so Knockoff, phenomenal utility move, especially when you get the same type of attack bonus with it. Throat Chop for potential sound-based nonsense. We can go through and deal with that. Acid Spray as well to run up some special offense. Snarl Grade as well, just disrupting damage on the special side. Trailblaze as well. Trailblaze, you know, not too bad. Anything that's hit quite effectively by grass will definitely hurt with taking a Trailblaze, and a free speed boost is never terrible. Focus Energy there as well, so we can run like a Focus Energy, Scope Lens or Razor Claw set. Get those guaranteed crits on some of those moves, that'll definitely look to hit hard. So yeah, pretty happy with this one. Not going to complain about getting Stunky there. And then our last pick, just to round it out everything, we really need a fighting type. And there were some fighting types that were free when picking Stunky and Noibat. There was only one other coach that was able to pick a tier 1 on the larger end of the wheel. They ended up picking a fighting type, but it wasn't the fighting type we were after. So the main two we had our eye on. We had our eye on Meta type, and the one that we went with was Riolu. So Riolu's big reasoning to pick it over something like Meanfu is this ability Prankster. Just a phenomenal supporting option, as well as something that you can run like in a focus and be like a damage option with its 70 attack, 60 speed. Bulk's a bit on the weaker end, but not the end of the world. Prankster would be you get some decent Prankster options as well. So I guess the main ones to have eyes on: Prankster Coaching, obviously. People are gonna see like, yep, so that's gonna be a thing. Prankster Weathers as well for your Rain Dance and your Sunny Day. So that would be for like your Squirtle and your Rain Dish, your Charmander, and your Solar Power. I guess technically Leaf Guard for Chikorita as well, but I don't know how big of a thing that'll be. Gets your Psych Up and Copycat as well, so could be some shenanigans there. And if you're not looking to have too much of a defense boost necessarily with the partner, and just looking to be offensive, Howl's handy for both Riolu and the partner if going aggressive, because it gives both Pokemon a +1 attack boost. While, yeah, so it can buff Riolu as long as like buffing the partner if the extra bulk isn't necessary. So that may come into play to some matchups as well. So it won't always be coaching. It does have options alternative to that as well. So yeah, that's the team. That's all 11. So I'll pop them through. So that's them there. So we've got the nicknames as well, and we've put them in the order of their tiers. So thematically, we've gone with Australian foods. So foods and drinks, I should say, because Crimpies is a type of sort of like a little snack. Chicken Crimpies. The Australians know what they love they love chicken Crimpies. The good stuff. And then we got Coddies, cordial, Australian cordial, mixed up with a bit of water, basically what Squirtle is. And here is the love-hate relationship. I think Vegemite tastes like ass. So Vegemite is named after Skunky. I can see people not being happy with that. I respect the decision, and I also don't care. So nothing quite screams meat pie on the draft like Golett. Meat pie, very, very Australian food. Just meat pie at the servo. We got another sort of like food similar to it. So running up with that, that's the big meat pie. Charmander, you know, your Aussie barbecue. Very iconic. Not really said really about that. We got the Lamingtons here with the Chingling. Lamington, very, very Australian food. Same for Fairy Bread. Fairy bread is basically you get your bread, you put your butter on it, then you get your hundreds of thousands and you sprinkle it over it. That was at every kid's party between the age of 2 and 6. So, you know, pretty iconic from the childhood there for the fairy bread there. Really was Tim Tams. Everyone that's had Tim Tams is generally a fan of Tim Tams. Absolute health nuts may not like Tim Tams as much, but it's always a good treat. So Chikorita's the Chico Roll. Chico Roll, you know, something like the meat pie, just a good hot food. Some people don't prefer it. Some people like it. Some people don't. I am personally a big fan of the Chico Roll and do enjoy cheeky Chico Roll. And the Great Northern, that's actually a Queensland brewed beer. I like it. It's named Great like that, so it fits the 12 characters on the nickname selection. And the last Rock, the Anzac Bicky. So this one goes out for the Anzacs. And look, the Anzac Bicky is quite nice. Not everyone's cup of tea, of course, but it's there. Bit of a got a bit of a rough exterior texture to it, but still quite nice nonetheless. And it's pretty familiar to. I found the sort of the synergy between that and Rock there for the Anzac Bicky. So yeah, that's what we've gone with there. So that's the team. That's basically going to be the video done. We'll have week 1 up shortly. We've just finished the drafting and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully it should be a fun season. I think we've done relatively well with the tools we've had and the Pokemon we've drafted. But you know, it's now all in the hands of actually preparing and playing matchups as good as possible. Alrighty, so hopefully we've all enjoyed that one. And alrighty, I'll see you when we have week 1.